What a beautiful day out, Shadow. Great weather, it's almost springtime, you can almost feel it, right? So, you got any plans this weekend? You gonna watch some NFL? It's the playoffs. So, how are things going with you and Rouge? Okay, man, are you gonna talk to me? You're not saying anything. Speak to me, say something. Man, we have some real communication issues we need to work through. Hey, what's up everyone, it's me, SpeedSuperSonic, bringing you guys another video, and I think this is the first video that I've worn a hoodie in forever. I mean, for real, if you can find the last video that I did where I was wearing a hoodie, an actual hoodie, comment what video that was and I'll give you a heart and a shout out, because I cannot remember the last time I wore one in a video. But anyways guys, we're back again to talk more about Sonic Movie 3 and in particular Shadow the Hedgehog. If you guys don't know, our last video we talked about the brand new teaser image at Sonic Prime Season 2 that Sega gave us of Sonic and Shadow battling underwater. I think just that image reinvigorated the love and the anticipation of Shadow in not only my heart but many fans' hearts. I love the character Shadow the Hedgehog so much, and it seems like a true renaissance for the character is on the way. Not only was Sonic Prime Season 2 promising a lot more Shadow this time around, but also something that was promised in early last year. And that of course is Sonic Movie 3's post-credit scene, where they tease that the next major character to be introduced in the Sonic movie franchise is Shadow the Hedgehog himself. Well, I think more than anything we're just excited to see the story that this movie is going to give us in relation to Shadow, how they're going to adapt Sonic Adventure 2 if they choose to do so. Maybe they'll take an entirely original route, who's going to be connected to it, is Maria going to be an aspect of his character, of the story, how faithful are they going to be? We're going to have to wait and see. But because the movie is over a year away, we have time to speculate, discuss, not only elements of the story in Shadow, but also another very important aspect of the character of the movie that we're very excited to see, and that's who's going to play Shadow. That's always something that is very important to fan bases, and especially the Sonic fan base. And there's been a lot of discussion about Shadow's actor in particular. Who is it going to be? What are they going to go for? And in this video today, I think we're going to cover all the ground in relation to just his character alone. Not just one actor, not just two, but all different types of actors we could and couldn't see. So any further ado, let's take a look at who I think could be Shadow and who I would like to be Shadow in Sonic Movie 3 and beyond. First of all, I want to get the downer note out of the way first. Who will not be playing Shadow the Hedgehog? Well, there are millions of actors in the world who will not be playing Shadow, but someone more obvious that a lot of people are campaigning for or think is a lock, and that is Jason Griffith. If you guys don't know, somehow Jason Griffith was the voice of Shadow the Hedgehog in the late 2000s and in Sonic X. I think he's unanimously agreed upon to be the best video game Shadow voice actor. Maybe some people would say David Humphries, but I'm a Jason Griffith guy myself. I grew up on him, and a lot of people are saying that they want him to return as the voice of Shadow, and a lot of people think that he's guaranteed to, which is really funny. And I'm just here to shut that down. Not only is Jason Griffith not going to be playing Shadow in the Sonic Movie 3, but I don't expect any voice actor who has played Shadow in any form of media to be returning as the character. A lot of people point towards Colleen O'Shaughnessy being the voice of Tails in the movies. She's a video game voice actress who's played Tails in the cartoons and the games and stuff like that, but Colleen is an exception to a rule. I think the main reason why Colleen O'Shaughnessy is still Tails and was Tails in Sonic Movie 2 was because of that Sonic Movie 1 post-credit scene. She said a single line or two as Tails. It wasn't like they were gonna go cast some big actor or actress to play Tails in that little post-credit scene. So rather than just spending all of the money to get a high-name voice actress, they're like, you know what, we have Idris Elba playing Knuckles, we have Jim Carrey's Eggman, we have Ben Schwartz, who's a very popular actor and is becoming progressively more well-known. I don't think we have to, really make Tails that big of a name. That is not going to be the case for Shadow. Jason Griffith hasn't played Shadow in over 10 years. Colleen O'Shaughnessy is the current Tails voice actor. That's a very different situation. If they were to get a Shadow voice actor, wouldn't they get Kirk Thornton? Now when I say that, you guys are like, yeah, go get a celebrity. We don't want that. I love Jason Griffith. He's my Shadow the Hedgehog. I grew up on his version of the character. But I really just don't want you guys to get your hopes up for something that's just so unrealistic and will just not happen, and that is him returning as the character, or any voice actor who's played Shadow returning as the character. Other people are Academy actors. You won't be seeing Brad Pitt or DiCaprio as Shadow the Hedgehog in a movie. But that's no fun talking about who's not going to play the character. Let's talk about who I think could play the character, who is attainable, who is somebody who could embody the character Shadow the Hedgehog, is a big enough name to really get people excited, to put people in seats, and really get fans 100% on board. Not only that, but the general audience. And I think think that a name that has been floated around for a while and is kind of like the generic pick, but also just one that makes a whole lot of sense, and I don't blame people for fan casting, is Keanu Reeves. The Keanu-sance is still in effect. The John Wick films really resurrected his career. He's had a lot of other really successful projects going on. He is a big name. People like Keanu Reeves. He's like the most likable guy ever. And I think everybody would be 100% on board with him playing the character. He has the voice that could match. He could definitely manipulate his voice to sound a particular way. He is an actor after all. And this is my realistic choice. I could see this being a big name actor who you could have come in and play this character. Shadow is a major character. He's going to be the character of this movie like Knuckles was to the last movie. Idris Elba is a massive name. Having him come in was so big, so you need something around that level, if not bigger, for Shadow. Some people would disagree with me saying this is attainable, but Keanu Reeves, yes, he is a big name, but he's not like one of those Academy actors like I previously mentioned. He's not a Pitt, he's not a DiCaprio, who's very selective in the films that they do. Keanu Reeves has been in a lot of bad movies. And I think the biggest film that you should look at as to why this is very attainable is a movie called SpongeBob! Yeah, Keanu Reeves was in this movie. In a smaller role than what he would be in Sonic Movie 3, yes. But that is a Paramount film that released relatively recently. That's a kid's movie that wasn't even that great, that he was still in. If Keanu Reeves was willing to do that movie, imagine what he'd be willing to do with an actual good script, with a well-written character who's interesting, and that might take even less work. In the SpongeBob movie, he had to like be there with his face and stuff. It had to be filmed. With this, all he had to do was show up to a recording booth in Los Angeles, say a few lines for a few weeks, and then show up a few months later for a press tour. I do think it's attainable to get Keanu Reeves, and I think it's a realistic choice. But what about my dream choice? Who would I like to, really see as Shadow the Hedgehog? And this is another one that gets fan casted a lot, and I don't blame it once again. But this is one that I don't see as realistic whatsoever, and I wouldn't get your hopes up for, but man, would I really love to see it. It'd be so great. And that is Robert Pattinson as Shadow the Hedgehog. In the same way that Keanu Reeves was having like a renaissance, I feel like Robert Pattinson's really having, I wouldn't even say a renaissance, because he hasn't really been on the scene for the amount of time that Keanu Reeves has, but man, has he been building his resume of films. Good Time is one of my favorite movies. The Lighthouse is one of my favorite movies. I love the Batman. I mean, he's literally Batman. That's like as big as it gets. He's gonna be starring in a Bong Joon-ho film called Mickey 7, which is going to be big. He's one of the best directors out there. He's gonna continue starring in Batman movies, continuing to do these major films. Oh yeah, he was in Tenet. He's one of the hottest actors out right now, and it's well deserved. But that's also one of the reasons why I think this is a little unattainable. He's one of the hottest actors out right now. Not only is his paycheck going to be massive, I also think that he's so busy he might not have time to. He might have to start getting to work on Batman 2. He's gonna have to continue filming Mickey 7, which I think is filming right now. I'm sure he has a lot of other projects that he still wants to work on, and I don't think that a Sonic the Hedgehog movie 3, where he voice acts as Shadow the Hedgehog, is necessarily up his alley. You could say, oh, Idris Elba was in Suicide Squad, but he also isn't Batman. I think he would be great. I think his Batman, more than anything, shows what a Shadow could be from Robert Pattinson, but once again, he's one of the hottest actors in Hollywood right now, and I think that the price tag would be too high for Paramount, and I also don't think that he'd have that much interest in doing so. But you never know, never say never. It's not completely unlikely, but it's kind of unlikely. I'd love to see it, I just don't think we will. Now, that's not it. That's not the end of this. I want to throw out one more actor because I feel like Keanu Reeves and Robert Pattinson are like kind of go-to choices for a lot of people. I want to throw out one, like kind of out-of-the-box choice, one that I would like to see, but I'm not sure will happen, but it's definitely attainable. It would be Lakeith Stanfield. If you guys don't know him, he's been in a lot of films recently. He was in Get Out, Sorry to Bother You. He's also one of the stars of the show Atlanta, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. He's also growing and growing as an actor, getting bigger and bigger, becoming more recognizable. Is an amazing actor, turns in great performances. I think he would do a really good job as Shadow. His voice, his tone really works for that. He has an intensity, but also like a looming sadness that I think is just perfect for the character. Once again, his resume is very nice. It's very indie, it's very auteur. And don't get me wrong, I love the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, but Sonic the Hedgehog 3 isn't really that. He's been in such amazing stuff, and he's really turning into one of the best actors in Hollywood right now. And while not on the level of Robert Pattinson, who's getting like these massive movies, I think before he gets to that level, I think you'd be able to get him for this. I love to see it. I think he would do a great job as Shadow. This is a role that's gonna be very hard hard to cast. It's gonna be a while until we even hear who's going to be playing him. There's a chance we won't even hear this until next year, but there's always a chance that we could hear it this year. Sonic Movie 3 is expected to film this year. I mean, it has to if it wants to meet its release date of next year. You never know, maybe we'll find it out in a proper announcement, or it might get leaked through via trade or a report from like Hollywood Reporter or Variety or something. You never know, but I'm just so excited to see who is going to be playing Shadow the Hedgehog. I think the Shadow the Hedgehog renaissance is upon us, and I have a video actually planned to talk about where the future of this character is going, how this character is kind of being redeemed in a way after his tragic fall that he's kind of had. I'm so excited to see not only what this movie does with this character, what this actor can do, but also what the entire Sonic franchise as a whole can do with Shadow. But I want to know what you guys think. What did you think of my picks, the people I don't think are going to be playing Shadow? Who would you like to see as Shadow, but also who do you think is going to be playing Shadow? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know what you guys have to say. Feel free to follow me on social media. Links to my Twitter and Instagram are description below. You can follow those. Want to look at my life feature content and all things Sonic the Hedgehog. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. This is the #1 destination on YouTube for all things Sonic. Whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, comic books, merchandise, and more, we talk about it all. Like I said, the film should start filming this year, so to stay tuned for set photo breakdowns, for leaks, news, trailers, reactions, everything like that. I'm going to be keeping you guys updated on all things Sonic Movie 3, in addition to all other aspects of the franchise, like I mentioned before. It's an exciting year to be a Sonic fan. I can't wait for you guys to join us on this journey. I love all of you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Wah!